You won't believe how freeing it feels to let go of things you thought you needed. For years, I held on to stuff out of guilt, habit, or just in case. But once I finally let them go, I realized I didn't miss a single one. In this video, I'm sharing 21 things you can release from your life starting today. These are items, mindsets, and habits many of us over 60 carry for far too long. But here's the truth. Letting go isn't losing, it's gaining peace, space, and clarity. If your home or heart feels a little too heavy lately, stay with me. You might just feel 10 pounds lighter by the end of this list. In this video, I'll walk you through 21 things you can let go of today, without guilt, without second-guessing, and without ever looking back. These are items, habits, and emotional burdens that many of us hold on to for far too long. But once they're gone, the relief is undeniable. I've released these from my own life, and so have thousands of others. And the result is always the same: more peace, more space, more clarity. If you've been feeling overwhelmed, stuck in the past, or simply tired of holding on to things that no longer serve you, this list is for you. By the end, you'll feel empowered to simplify not just your home, but your mindset, and take a step toward a lighter, more joyful life. Stick around, because number 17 might surprise you. In this video, I'll walk you through 21 things you can release today, without regret, without fear, and without that nagging feeling that you'll miss them. These are items, routines, and emotional weights that I, and thousands of others, have let go of, and we haven't looked back. Letting go doesn't mean losing part of yourself. It means making room for what truly matters: peace of mind, meaningful connections, and a home that supports the life you want to live now. If you've ever felt like your space or your heart is too full of the past, this video will speak to you. Each thing we let go of is a step toward more freedom, more joy, and more presence. And by the end, you'll feel motivated to make those same choices, starting today. Part 1. Physical clutter. Let's start with the obvious. Physical. Stuff that clutters our space and our mind. Unexpired medications. We all have that one cabinet, or maybe even a shoebox, full of pills, creams, and prescriptions from 5, 10, even 15 years ago. Maybe we kept them just in case, or because we weren't sure how to dispose of them properly. But here's the truth. Expired medications not only take up space, they pose serious risks. They can lose potency, cause harm, or create confusion when mixed with current prescriptions. Take just 10 minutes to go through your medicine cabinet. Toss anything expired or unrecognizable. Most pharmacies will take them back safely. Just ask. You're not letting go of your health. You're taking control of it. 2. Clothes that no longer fit. That blouse you loved in 1985. The slacks you swore you'd wear again. The outfits tied to a body you no longer have, or a version of yourself you're not anymore. We keep these clothes out of nostalgia, guilt, or hope. But every time we open the closet and see them, we feel a little tug of disappointment or even shame. Here's a question that changed everything for me. If I wouldn't buy this today, why am I keeping it? Try this. Pull out every item that doesn't fit or flatter. Set it aside for donation. Imagine someone else loving it, wearing it, giving it a second life. Your value isn't in the size on the tag. It's in the life you're living right now. Letting go of clothes that no longer serve. You can be a powerful step toward self-acceptance. Try Tupperware without lids. Raise your hand if you've ever opened your kitchen drawer and found a mountain of plastic containers and not a matching lid in sight. We don't know how it happens. Maybe they vanish like socks in the dryer. But over time, these lidless wonders just pile up. I once spent 30 minutes trying to match lids. When I finally dumped the mismatched ones, the drawer looked like it lost 20 pounds. Dump every container and lid into one spot. Only keep what has a match. Recycle the rest. Better yet, treat yourself to a simple matching set and start fresh. Decluttering this drawer isn't just about space. It's about saving time, energy, and frustration during everyday routines. 4. Single socks. The sock mystery. 1 goes in, 2 don't come out. Where do they go? We may never know. But here's what we do know. Those orphan socks aren't helping anyone. We keep them hoping the mate will show up, but it rarely does. Have a 1-week rule. If the socks match doesn't show up in a week, let it go. Use singles as dust cloths or toss them out. You'll be surprised how satisfying it is to never dig through a pile of mismatched socks again. Sometimes in life and in laundry, We just have to accept when things are no longer part of the set, and that's okay. 5. Instruction manuals. Most are online. Remember the drawer filled with manuals for blenders, DVD players, remote controls, and things you no longer even own? We keep them just in case, but realistically, we never use them. And today, nearly every manual is available online with one quick search. I tested myself. I looked up the manual for my old toaster oven online. Found it in under 30 seconds. The paper version took me 5 minutes and a sneezing fit. Recycle every manual you can find for items you no longer have or use. For the rest, bookmark the digital versions or store them on your computer or tablet. You're not losing security. You're gaining space and simplifying how you live. Paper clutter clutters the mind, too. 6. Old greeting cards. Cards from birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, some from people we love, and some we honestly forgot ever sent them. Greeting cards carry sentimental weight, which is why so many of us keep every single one in boxes, drawers, or tucked into old books. But here's the thing. The love in those cards already served its purpose. You felt it when you opened them. Keeping a mountain of cards doesn't make the memories more real. It just adds clutter to your home. Save 1 or 2 cards that truly mean something. Maybe one from a parent, a grandchild, or a dear friend who's no longer with you. Place those somewhere special. The rest? Recycle, guilt-free. You're not throwing away the relationship. You're simply choosing to carry the love in your heart, not in a pile of fading paper. 7. Books you'll never reread. Books are tricky. They feel valuable. They're connected to our identity, what we've learned, what we've loved, how we see the world. But let's be honest, many of us have shelves filled with books we'll never touch again. We keep them out of pride, habit, or the hope that one day we'll reread them. But that day rarely comes. And meanwhile, they gather dust and take up space that could be used for something more meaningful. I once had a book I held on to for 22 years because I liked the idea of reading it. When I finally donated it, someone else actually did read it. That felt better than keeping it. Ask yourself, would I buy this again today? If not, let it go. Keep the few that bring you joy, wisdom, or comfort. Let the rest find a new home. Someone else's nightstand, not your storage bin. You're not getting rid of knowledge. You're making room for new insights and giving old ones a second life. 8. Outdated electronics or cords. You know the drawer, the one with the chargers to phones. You haven't owned since 2009. Or the cable for a camera that stopped working 3 moves ago. We hang on to cords and gadgets just in case. But often we don't even know what they go to anymore. And the reality is, if you haven't used it in a year, you likely never will. I once found a charger for a flip phone I hadn't seen in over a decade. That phone, long gone. But that cord was still coiled neatly, waiting for a second chance it would never get. Dump all your cords and devices in one spot. Test the ones you still use. Label them. Recycle or donate the rest. Best Buy and many electronic stores will take them responsibly. Letting go of these isn't about waste, it's about clarity. Every unplugged wire you remove creates more breathing room in your home and your head. Not to knickknacks collecting dust. Figurines, trinkets, souvenirs, that tiny vase from the flea market. The decorative plate from a cruise 17 years ago. We accumulate knickknacks slowly, sometimes without even realizing it. They sit on shelves, counters, windowsills. Not because we love them, but because they've always been there. We're used to them, but over time they become background noise, collecting dust and cluttering our visual space. One weekend, I cleared a shelf I hadn't touched in years. I didn't just free up space, I rediscovered how peaceful that corner of the room could feel. Pick 3 surfaces in your home. Clear everything off. Now, only put back the items you truly love or use. Donate or store the rest. You don't have to fill every space just because it's empty. A peaceful space makes room for peaceful thoughts. Less isn't empty, it's intentional. 10. Old makeup or toiletries. Now here's one we often overlook. The clutter hiding in the bathroom. Expired creams, half-used lotions, lipstick from the 90s, a dozen travel-sized shampoos from hotels you don't remember staying at. This isn't just clutter, it can actually be unsafe. Old makeup harbors bacteria. Expired skincare can irritate your skin. And chances are, if you haven't used it in the last 6 months, you never will. You won't believe what I found in the back of my bathroom. Drawer 3. Bottles of the same moisturizer, all expired. and one of them had never been opened. Open every drawer and shelf in your bathroom. Check dates. Toss anything expired, dried out, or unloved. Keep only what you use weekly. Emotional note. You're not being wasteful. You're taking care of yourself. Your bathroom should feel fresh, not frustrating. By letting go of these small, everyday items, you're doing something much bigger than just organizing a drawer or clearing a shelf. You're giving yourself permission to stop holding on to the past. You're reclaiming space for the things, people, and experiences that matter now. And here's what most people don't realize. Letting go doesn't feel like loss. It feels like freedom. Each item you release is a quiet victory. It says, I choose peace over pressure, clarity over clutter, today over yesterday. But physical clutter is just the beginning. Coming up next, we'll explore the emotional clutter that weighs even heavier and how to release it without regret. And trust me, number 14 was one of the hardest for me to let go of. Part 2. Emotional clutter. Not everything that clutters our lives sits on a shelf or inside a drawer. Some of it lives in our hearts and minds, quietly draining our energy, muddying our peace, and holding us back in ways we don't always notice. Letting go of emotional clutter isn't as simple as tossing out a box, but the relief, it's far greater. Let's walk through 4 kinds of emotional clutter you can release without guilt and without regret. 11. Guilt over unused gifts. We've all received gifts with the best intentions, but not so great results. A sweater that never fit, a kitchen gadget you never figured out, a book you never opened, and yet we keep them, not because we love them, but because we feel guilty getting rid of them. Here's the truth. The purpose of a gift is to show love at the moment it's given. Once you've received it, smiled, said thank you, the gift has served its purpose. Keeping it forever doesn't make you more grateful, it just ties you to things you don't need or use. I once held onto a candle from a friend for 5 years. Never lit it. Didn't even like the scent. The day I gave it away was the day I realized I'm not rejecting the person. I'm respecting my space. Pick one shelf or cabinet and look at every item you're only keeping out of guilt. Say a quiet thank you, then pass it on. Someone else might love it more than you ever could. Letting go of a gift doesn't mean letting go of the relationship. It means choosing honesty over obligation, and that's a gift to yourself. 12. Friendships that no longer feel mutual. This one is tough. Some friendships were beautiful in their season, but no longer bring energy, kindness, or connection. You may find yourself doing all the reaching out, all the emotional heavy lifting, and walking away feeling drained, not filled. It's okay to outgrow relationships. It's okay to notice when something has become one-sided. And it's okay to stop pouring into cups that never pour back. One day I realized I was chasing a friend who hadn't called me in 2 years. That silence said more than any words ever could. Make a list of your closest connections. Ask yourself, does this relationship bring peace or pressure? Do I feel seen or just tolerated? That clarity alone can guide your next step, whether it's setting boundaries or slowly letting go. It's not about bitterness. It's about honoring the kind of relationships you deserve. Mutual, caring, life-giving. The 13. Projects you've mentally abandoned. The half-finished novel. The sewing project you started before the grandkids were born. The garage reorganization that's been on your mind for years. These open loops sit in the back of our minds like browser tabs that never close, quietly nagging us, whispering, you should have finished that. But here's the truth. Not every project deserves to be completed. Some were right for a version of you that no longer exists. You're allowed to change course. You're allowed to say, that dream served me then, but it doesn't now. I once found a box of supplies for a scrapbook I never started. I kept thinking one day, but when I looked at it again, I realized I didn't even want to do it anymore. I let it go, and just like that, the pressure disappeared. Write down every unfinished project that's weighing on you. Cross off the ones that no longer excite you. If you don't feel a spark when you look at it, give yourself permission to release it completely. You are not defined by your to-do list. Peace is more valuable than productivity. 14. Photos that bring sadness, not joy. Photos are powerful. They hold memories, emotions, and moments frozen in time. But not every photo brings joy. Some stir up pain. They remind us of loss, regrets, or relationships that didn't end well. And yet, we keep them because we feel we should. But just like physical clutter, Emotional clutter lives in things we feel obligated to hold on to even when they hurt us. One day I looked through an old album and realized I was skipping over certain pages every time. Not because I didn't care, but because they made me feel heavy. That was my cue. You don't have to keep every photo. Save the ones that make your heart warm. Store the rest digitally or quietly let them go. If a photo makes you feel smaller, sadder, or stuck, you are not required to keep it. Your past shaped you, but you don't have to carry all of it. Keep the memories that uplift. Let go of the ones that weigh you down. 15. Clothes tied to your past identity. This one can sneak up on you. Maybe it's a blazer from when you worked full-time, a dress from a party years ago, a pair of jeans that belonged to the version of you before grandkids, or before arthritis, or before life changed shape. We often keep clothes not because they fit our lives, but because they represent who we used to be. We hope one day we'll go back, or we feel like letting go means giving up. But the truth? Holding on to those pieces doesn't bring that version of you back. It just clutters the life you're living now. I had a jacket from the 90s I hadn't worn in 15 years. Every time I saw it, it whispered, "You used to be that person." Letting it go wasn't giving up, it was moving forward. Try this. Pull out one item of clothing and ask yourself, would I wear this next week if I had the chance? If the answer is no, and it's tied to a version of yourself, that's no longer here. Bless it and release it. You're not erasing who you were. You're making space to celebrate who you are now. And that version of you deserves to feel good every day, not squeezed into a memory. 16. Resentment from years ago. This is the kind of clutter you can't see, but you can feel. Sometimes, the heaviest thing in a room isn't a piece of furniture. It's the anger we haven't let go of. Maybe someone hurt you. Maybe they never apologized. Maybe a situation wasn't fair, and it still stings to think about. That's real, and you're allowed to feel it. But carrying resentment for years, sometimes decades, doesn't punish the person who wronged you, it punishes you. It sits in your body, your mind, your nervous system. I once realized I was still replaying a conversation from 20 years ago. Every time I saw that person's name, and they hadn't thought of it once. That was my wake-up call. You don't need a grand reconciliation. You don't even need contact. Forgiveness can happen quietly, just for you. It's not about condoning, it's about reclaiming your peace. You've already carried it long enough. Let it go not because they deserve it, but because you do. 17. The idea that you must keep everything just in case. This is one of the most common forms of mental clutter, and it shows up everywhere. The extra buttons, the old receipts, the third mixing bowl, the worn towels, the dozens of plastic bags. We tell ourselves, I might need this someday. But often, someday never comes. And meanwhile, we're storing stress in our cabinets, closets, and garages. Here's the truth, most of us have enough. More than enough. And we don't need to prepare for every possible what if. That's not security, it's scarcity. Coming up, this one mindset shift made letting go so much easier. I started asking, what's the worst that happens if I don't have this? And almost every time the answer was, nothing serious. Challenge yourself to donate or toss 5 things you've kept just in case. If you haven't used it in the last year and it doesn't bring peace or joy, it's time to let it go. You're not clearing your home because you don't value things. You're clearing it because you value space, freedom, lightness, ease, fear of waste, fear of being unprepared, fear of losing a piece of ourselves. But letting go doesn't mean being careless, it means being clear. When you let go of thoughts and habits that no longer serve your current life, you create more mental energy for what matters, your health, your relationships, your joy. Each belief you release becomes a door opening to something new. And you don't have to keep everything just in case when your peace of mind is already enough. By now, we've cleared the physical clutter that crowds your shelves, the emotional weight that tugs at your heart, and the mental stories that keep you holding on. You've let go of things and discovered you're still whole without them. That's the secret. The less you carry, the lighter you feel. Coming up next, the subtle energy drains, the habits and expectations that creep into our days and keep us from feeling fully present. And 21, that one gave me more time, energy, and joy than anything else on this list. Part 3, mental and habitual clutter. Finally, we lighten up your mental load by letting go of outdated beliefs and unnecessary routines. By now, you've cleared the clutter on your shelves, in your heart, and even in your head. But there's one more layer: the habits and expectations that quietly shape how you spend your time and how you see yourself. Some of these were useful once, but now they might be silently draining your joy, your energy, and your sense of peace. Here are 4 subtle but powerful things you're allowed to let go of, starting today. 18. The need to do everything yourself. Maybe you were the one everyone counted on for decades. The one who managed the house, cared for the kids, cooked every meal, paid the bills, handled every detail. But here's the truth. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you have to. Doing everything yourself isn't a badge of honor. It's a recipe for exhaustion. And in this season of life, ease and joy should matter more than perfection and control. I used to feel guilty asking for help carrying groceries, until one day someone said, "Let me help you." And instead of resisting, I just said, "Thank you." That small shift made a big difference. Start small. The next time someone offers help, accept it. Or ask for one thing you've been quietly struggling with. Watch how quickly the weight lifts. You've spent years taking care of others. Letting others take care of you now isn't weakness. It's balance. You deserve to feel supported too. 19. Rigid schedules that don't serve you anymore. For so long, our lives were dictated by routines. Wake up early, manage a home, get to work, raise kids, meet deadlines. But now, the schedule is yours. And it's time to ask whether your routines still fit your reality. If you're still waking up at 6 a.m. because you should, or keeping weekly appointments that no longer spark joy, it's worth asking, who is this for? Freedom means giving yourself permission to flow with your own rhythm. I used to clean the house top to bottom every Saturday, rain or shine. It took hours. One day I asked, why am I still doing this? The answer, habit, not happiness. Choose one rigid routine this week to soften. Skip a chore. Move an appointment. Let the day unfold differently and see how it feels. Structure can bring peace, but when it becomes a cage, it's okay to step out. You've earned the right to slow down and shape your day your way. 20. Fear of asking for help. This one runs deep. We fear being a burden. We fear looking weak. We fear losing independence. So we stay silent, even when we need support. But here's the truth. Asking for help isn't a burden. It's an invitation for connection. It shows trust, vulnerability, courage. And people want to help, often more than you realize. One afternoon, I was struggling with my phone and ready to give up. My grandson said, "You just have to tap this." It took him 10 seconds. I'd spent 30 minutes, and we ended up laughing together for the next hour. Pick one thing you've been putting off because you don't want to ask. Then ask someone you trust. Watch how good it feels, not just to receive, but to be reminded you're never truly alone. You're not a burden. You're a blessing. And letting others in allows them to love you better. 21. The belief that your worth is tied to productivity. This may be the hardest one to release. For decades, many of us believed our value came from what we did. The jobs we held, the tasks we completed, the people we cared for. And now, in a quieter season of life, it's easy to wonder, who am I without all that? But here's what's true. You are worthy even when you rest. You are valuable even when you're not doing. Your presence, not your productivity, is what your loved ones treasure most. I sat on the porch one afternoon, doing nothing but sipping tea and watching birds. For the first time, I felt no guilt. No rush, just peace. And in that moment, I realized this is enough. Every day, give yourself 15 minutes to just be. Not read, not clean, not fix. Just sit, breathe, and exist. Watch how quickly the guilt fades and the peace sets in. Your life's worth isn't measured by your to-do list. It's measured by your heart, your laughter, your stories, and the love you share. And you've already given more than enough. I used to keep every single photo, even the ones that brought back hard memories. I told myself it was about preserving history. But every time I saw certain faces or places, I felt a heaviness. One day I realized, healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing what to carry forward and giving yourself permission to let go of the rest. You can honor your past without keeping every piece of it in front of you. Letting go wasn't easy at first. Every item felt like a memory, a responsibility, or a just in case. But little by little, something shifted. Now, I feel lighter, calmer, more in control, not just of my home, but of my time and energy. My space isn't just cleaner, it's more peaceful. My mind isn't racing. And most importantly, I've made room for what truly matters. Connection, joy, and ease in the everyday. What's one thing you let go of and never missed? I'd love to hear your story in the comments. If this gave you the courage to start decluttering, tap that thumbs up and subscribe.